Today, we're going to look at what a major scale is and what a natural minor scale is. We're going to figure out the difference between the two. We're going to find out how to change between them, and I'm going to show you a pattern that you can use to figure out any major or natural minor scale starting on your tonic note. Let's hook into it. Scales are just sequences of notes, and what changes their quality to major, minor, mode, whatever you're looking at, is the intervals between the notes that you've got. For the scales that we're looking at, we're going to have a combination of semitones and tones. So if you don't know what a semitone is, on guitar, it's where we move from one fret to the next fret. On piano, it's where we move from one note to the next available note. Now that may mean moving from a white note to a white note, or a white note to a black note, or a black note to a white note. And if we're talking in cents, it's 100 cents apart. Our tone is just two of those semitones. In a major scale, the intervals we get between notes are tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. We get a major second, a major third, a perfect fourth, a perfect fifth, a major sixth, a major seventh, and an octave. In the two scales that we're looking at today, a major scale and a natural minor scale, the second, the fourth, and the fifth all stay the same. They're not going to change, but the third, the sixth, and the seventh are going to change between scales. So if we have a look at those intervals, we've got a major third, which is made up of 2 tones, a major sixth, which is 4 tones and a semitone, and a major seventh, which is 5 tones and 1 semitone. We're going to go through a couple of examples using our piano keyboard here so that you can see how we can work out any major scale using the pattern tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Let's start with F. So in F, if we move initially a tone, we go up to G, another tone, we get to A. Here we have our semitone, so we're going to move from A to B flat, the next available note. Then we're going to move another tone, which takes us to C, another tone, D, another tone, E, and then finally a semitone to get back to F. Let's take that same pattern and do A major. So we're starting on A now. We're going to move a tone up to B, a tone up to C sharp, now a semitone to D, a tone to E, a tone to F sharp, a tone to G sharp, and then a semitone to get back to A. Now let's have a look at a natural minor scale. So natural minor is a little bit different because the order of the tones and semitones changes. We still have the same total amount, but where they fall changes. If this is our combination of tones and semitones for our major scale, this is how it changes to become natural minor. We've got a tone to begin with, like the major, but then a semitone, followed by a tone, a semitone, and then tone, tone. We've still got a tone to start, which means that we've got the same interval between our first note and our second note of the scale, so it stays the same. But our major third is now gone, the 2 tones, and we've got a 1 tone and a semitone. This is 1 semitone smaller than our major third. We'll come back to why that's important in a second. The perfect fourth and perfect fifth have stayed the same, but our major sixth has now become a minor sixth, which is made up of 3 tones and 2 semitones, or a total of 4 tones. And again, that's 1 semitone smaller than our major sixth. Our major seventh has also changed to a minor seventh here, which is 4 tones and 2 semitones, or a total of 5 tones. Again, 1 semitone smaller than a major seventh. So if you have a look at the difference between those core intervals that make a scale major or minor, They are one semitone larger in major, one semitone smaller in minor. We're going to use the same process now to figure out some natural minor scales. So let's start with B flat. In B flat, natural minor, we're going to start on B flat as our tonic. We're going to go up a tone to C, then a semitone to D flat, a tone to E flat, a tone to F, a semitone to G flat, a tone to A flat, and then another tone to get back to B flat. Let's follow that up with another example. We'll do G minor. So we're going from G, up a tone to A, then a semitone to B flat, a tone to C, a tone to D, a semitone to E flat, a tone to F, and then another tone to get back to G. You may have already noticed that the second, fourth, and fifth all stay the same, whether we're looking at major or natural minor. There are some minor scales that this isn't the case with, but for these two, it is. Now that we know all that changes is the third, sixth, and seventh, we can change from a major scale to a natural minor scale in the same key, just by changing those three notes and leaving the second, fourth, and fifth alone. We know we have to make the interval either one semitone larger if we're going from minor to major, or one semitone smaller if we're moving from major to minor. Let's do that for a couple of examples as well. So if we're going from C major to C minor, we're going to leave the second note alone, but we're going to change that third note from a major third to a minor third by dropping it one semitone. We're going to leave the fourth alone, we're going to leave the fifth alone, we're going to track down our sixth note, our A, pull it back one semitone to make it A flat, our minor sixth now, and then we're going to grab our major seventh, our B, again, pull it back one semitone to B flat, and now we have our minor seventh. So we've gone from our C major scale here to our C natural minor scale here. Let's do the same but reverse the process. So if we're going from B minor to B major, we're going to leave our first and second notes alone again. We're going to grab our third note here, our D, and we're going to change that. We're going to raise it up a semitone this time to become D sharp, our major third, rather than our minor third. We're going to leave our fourth and our fifth alone again. We're going to grab our sixth note, our minor sixth now, which is a G. We're going to raise it up a semitone to become G sharp, our major sixth. We're going to grab our minor seventh, which was an A. We're going to raise that up a semitone to become A sharp. And that's our major seventh. So that is a quick breakdown of our major and natural minor scales and some techniques that can help when you're working with them. We might tackle some other scales and modes in another video, but for right now, this will get you started. I'll see you next time.